You're listening to a Roddenberry podcast.
Today is Tuesday, June 15th, 2021, and this is your daily Star Trek news from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. On today's show, Star Trek Prodigy introduces its voice cast and gives us some details about the main characters. LeVar Burton celebrates 2 years of the California park that was named after him, and I've got this week's Trek Trivia. I'm Alison Pitt, and today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month of counseling at betterhelp.com/DSTN. Big news from the Star Trek universe today as the remaining voice cast was announced for Star Trek Prodigy via the Star Trek on Paramount Plus Twitter account. Actors Ella Purnell, Brett Gray, Riley Lazaraki, Dee Bradley Baker, Angus Emery, and Jason Mantzoukas will be joining Kate Mulgrew's holographic Captain Janeway in the animated series set to debut later this year. Paramount Plus also tweeted several images from the show along with detailed character descriptions, all of which were compiled, helpfully, into a story on StarTrek.com. The 6 new members of the Star Trek family will be playing part of what the network calls a motley crew of young aliens who must figure out how to work together while navigating a greater galaxy in search for a better future. When they commandeer an abandoned starship in the Delta Quadrant, the young adventurers find themselves learning what it means to be a team under the tutelage of the Janeway Emergency Training Hologram. Now, the characters include some well-known species from the Trek universe, along with some new additions and a couple of mysterious new species. Emery will be playing a Medusan, first seen in the original series episode Is There in Truth No Beauty, where it was revealed that the sight of a Medusan would drive humanoid species mad. To rectify that, Emery's character Zero has fashioned a containment suit to protect their shipmates. Mantzoukas' character, Jankum Pog, is a Tellarite, a species with the distinction of having appeared in every Prime Universe iteration of Star Trek since the original series. Prodigy also appears to be taking a page from the Star Trek Expanded Universe, with Lazaraki's Rock Talk from the Brakar race, first introduced in the Star Trek The Next Generation Starfleet Academy novels 25 years ago. Rounding out the main characters are Brett Gray's Dal, a 17-year-old maverick of unknown species, and Ella Purnell's Gwyn, also 17, a Va Nakat who dreams of the stars. Finally, Dee Bradley Baker, one of the world's most prolific voice actors, whose credits are literally too numerous to list, will lend his voice to early fan-favorite character Murph, whose age and species, StarTrek.com notes, are unknown. They further describe them as an endearing, indestructible blob with curiously good timing and an insatiable appetite for ship parts. I wish I was an indestructible blob. That'd be cool. Anyway, you can read more about the new characters and their Prodigy mission at StarTrek.com. In 2019, Richfield Park in the Meadowview community in Sacramento, California, was renamed in honor of Star Trek The Next Generation actor and upcoming Jeopardy guest host LeVar Burton. The park's new name was chosen to commemorate Burton's efforts as an activist and literacy advocate. Burton grew up just a few blocks from the park, and 2 years after the park was renamed, both Burton and local news station KCRA3 took notice of the anniversary. On social media last Friday, Burton shared photos of the unveiling of the LeVar Burton Park sign in 2019, along with a comment that read, "It still blows my mind. My hometown did this 2 years ago today. #Sacramento Proud." On June 11th, 2019, LeVar Burton Park was christened in an outdoor celebration of more than 200 guests, which Burton attended. The date was also designated as LeVar Burton Day. At the time, Burton told KCRA the renaming of the park was a special honor, and he reflected on his time as a child in the neighborhood. Sacramento was like floating down the river in the summer, Burton said. Just a real lovely place to grow up. You can see Burton's full 2019 interview with KCRA3 on YouTube. And of course, if you happen to be in the area, you can check out LeVar Burton Park for yourself, that's located at 1900 Expedition Way in Sacramento, California. I've got Trek Trivia Tuesday in just a moment, but first, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Sometimes when you really need help, actually going and getting help feels like an awfully big hill to climb. You have to find someone who might not be suitable. You have to make an appointment and leave the house, which can be a little scary. And you have to commit money to something that you're not even sure will be worth it. Enter BetterHelp. BetterHelp is trying to make that whole process easier so that there are fewer barriers between where you are now and where you want to be. It's more affordable than traditional counseling. You can schedule messages or meetings at times that work for you, all from the comfort of your own home, and they even make it free and easy to change counselors if you need to. If you're facing that big hill between you and the help you need, it might be time to look at BetterHelp. I want you to start living a happier life today. And as a daily Star Trek news listener, you can get 10% off your first month of counseling by visiting betterhelp.com/DSTN. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's betterhelp, HELP.com/DSTN. And now, it's Trek Trivia Tuesday. Did you know, with the exception of credit sequences, the Star Trek The Animated Series episode The Slaver Weapon marked the first time in the franchise that the Enterprise itself did not appear, and the first, besides the cage, to lack an appearance by Captain Kirk. The episode features Mr. Spock, Lieutenant Sulu, and Lieutenant Uhura aboard a lone shuttlecraft on a mission to deliver a mysterious collection of alien artifacts created by the ancient despotic civilization known only as the Slavers. While en route, the trio are hunted for their valuable cargo by the cat-like Kzinti, a race who, while only appearing in this episode, were slated to make a long-awaited return in the never-realized 5th season of Star Trek Enterprise. As Memory Alpha details, Star Trek screenwriter Jimmy Diggs pitched the episode to Enterprise showrunner Manny Coto under the working title Kilkenny Cats. So now, a trivia question for you. The Slaver Weapon was adapted from an existing science fiction short story written by the episode's author, who was brought in as a guest writer by story editor DC Fontana. Who was this author, and what was the name of the story? Find out on Friday's episode of Daily Star Trek News. Well, that's it for today's Daily Star Trek News from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. Don't forget to check out the other great shows on the network at podcasts.roddenberry.com. Daily Star Trek News is produced by me, Alison Pitt, and written by Chris Peterson and Jack Brown, with trivia by Ari Connerty-Singer. Today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month of counseling at betterhelp.com/DSTN. I'm back tomorrow with more of the Star Trek news you need to know, and this week in Trek history. I'm Alison Pitt. Live long and prosper.
This is a Roddenberry podcast. For more great podcasts, visit podcast.roddenberry.com.